Just how long will the American dream living abroad last? Today, while relaxing after going to the gym, my girlfriend got a call from her aunt, and she asked if I was legal in the country. Now, I'm currently in Colombia. I'm in Pereira, which is 4 hours south of Medellin. And I was a bit confused. I was like, well, why would she ask that? That's interesting. And she was asking because there has been some drama happening between the two countries, my country, the United States, I'm from Minnesota, and the country where I'm in right now, Colombia. So these political tensions are something that I'm pretty familiar with from the past. It's happened quite a bit, and now with changing things in politics in the US, it's bound to happen more in the future. And I'm basically going through the situation now directly. So my girlfriend's aunt, she calls, asks about me being illegal, and then I realized that that there's this whole drama between the Colombian government that is being controlled by Petro, and him denying some planes, evidently military planes, coming into Colombia with some people that are considered to be the undocumented immigrants from Colombia in America. So, something I definitely don't like getting in between. I don't like getting caught in the middle of these dramatic things, and furthermore, I feel like it's kind of a situation that will bring a lot of uncertainty to people looking to have a life abroad, you know, having the American dream now, 2025, being outside of America, being in places where you feel like you're treated better, you feel you're more comfortable. And I feel like that's going to be getting more complicated, more difficult as time goes on with my plan of driving my motorcycle and living in every country in Latin America. I've already spent the past 2 years doing that, from Minnesota down to here, to Colombia, and down even further through Ecuador and Peru. However, I drove back up here to Colombia to work on my my older videos that I didn't have time to edit as I was going through all these countries, you know, Central America. Lots of things happened. I did a lot of stuff, and I just didn't have the time to edit, and I didn't have the support from editors and people that I'm actually working with right now. So, what is the context of what's happening? Well, today, Trump decided to put a tariff on Colombian goods going into America, and that's kind of seems to be what he's going to be doing in the future with pretty much anyone that has any issues with what he's trying to accomplish. The tariffs are going to be 25% on the Colombian goods going into America, and he said by next week they're going to be going up to 50%. Now, regardless if this is a good technique or not, as an expat, as a person living abroad, not fully immigrant, because I haven't decided to stay in one specific place really ever. So as a real continuous digital nomad, changing countries very regularly, it really puts a lot of tension on me and people like me, people that actually are immigrants that want to live here in Colombia, for example, that want to live in Latin America, because in Latin America there are a lot of presidents that actually do create some drama between Trump and what he's trying to get done. They're not agreeing with the way he's doing things, so they basically will be perhaps changing some type of relationships for not only the governments and how they interact, but the people that go between the countries. Of course, if the United States is removing Colombians from there, then what happened here is that the President Petro was saying, well, we have maybe some undocumented Americans here as well. Number I remember seeing was around 15,000. So I don't know if that's true or not, or exactly what status they have, but yeah, it seems like there's some drama going on between both countries, and I was really hoping to finish this full 5 years. My full plan is a 5 or 6 year journey of showing places, showing how it is to live in these places. You know, albeit some places very short term, like in Central America. Many of the countries I only lived for between 6 and 12 weeks. But in Colombia and other countries, I've already spent a significant amount of time. So I have a pretty good understanding of some places more than others. So, I mean, personally, I really feel appreciation for Latin America because the people here are so amazing. You know, here I am in Pereira, in this like small city in Colombia, and I absolutely love it here. People are super friendly, and you know, sadly, in some parts of the U.S., that's not the same, and you know, it's a whole different ball game there. Obviously, with a huge population, way more diversity than most countries, and lots of problems with you know, being there legally when so many people want to be there because it's such a hot destination, right? So I kind of fear about how these types of tension between countries that I'm going to be going through in South America in these next couple of years, how this will affect me, how it will affect people that are in similar situations. For example, people that want to move abroad, people that want to establish themselves in another country. I mean, there's a lot of countries that I feel like there will be tension. I believe Brazil will probably have some tension with the US at some point. I mean, these are just governments that are not super friendly with the United States, and we got some cars passing through, got some nice cars here in Colombia. Yeah, so places like Colombia already had this drama. Mexico had this drama already, but I didn't see Trump do any tariffs with Mexico for not allowing the planes to land as well. The female president, I can't remember her name, Scheinbau or something, she didn't allow their planes to land as well. So this is all happening very quickly, you know, because the change in government just happened recently, and now I'm definitely personally feeling it for the first time directly. Yeah, having that tension, especially in other countries like Bolivia. Bolivia is another country that is not a super close ally with the United States. I mean, I drove through some other countries like Nicaragua, which is also not really close to the United States, you know, has a pretty violent background with them, a past. So I'm going to be driving through in April, Ecuador, and then back to Peru, and then spend a couple months there, and then Bolivia, then Paraguay, then Brazil, then Uruguay. I mean, of all of these countries, what will happen as I continue to drive south, right? As I'm continuing to do this project, continuing to show places in Latin America, show what it feels like and what I experienced personally, and you know, doing it all, driving myself alone the entire time, making new friends, meeting new people, and always just trying to show what a legitimate experience would be like for an American. You know, I'm 36 years old from Minnesota. I mean, I'm just trying to show a decent representation of what anyone could benefit from or have difficulties with in regards to living in these countries, Latin America. So I definitely know that Argentina is probably not going to be an issue due to their new president being incredibly close to Trump, and you know, that's one thing I can keep in mind. You know, if anything ever happens in these countries where, you know, there's a lot of drama, that's a place I could probably go without having any issues in the future, or in the near future at least. And yeah, I just kind of feel a little bit disappointed. I'm a bit disappointed in how I was so close to doing this entire project and getting all this stuff done without any drama. And now things seem to be happening exponentially. Exponential amounts of drama and changes, and yeah, it's something that I think really requires a lot of optimism and, of course, adaptability. I feel like living abroad, I've been living abroad for more than 12 years or so. I first moved abroad in around 2013, I think, to Vietnam. And I haven't moved back since to live full-time in America. So, yeah, adaptability, it's a big part, but not, it doesn't come easily to everyone. It's something you kind of pick up along the way, and yeah, I guess being able to go with the flow is just something that is important to have if you're thinking about living abroad, moving abroad, having a life, especially in Latin America. And with these, uncertain times, being able to, make changes when it needs to happen. That's probably a really important thing to be able to have at your disposal. If you are in, for example, I'm in Colombia right now, and the visas for politicians were today denied for Colombians going into America. Will there be retaliation for Americans coming down here? Well, probably not, right? Probably nothing serious, but it could, right? Depending on how much each side goes at each other's throat, it can really escalate. So I guess adaptability is something that, keep in mind. Okay, well, you can't control these things. You're a guest when you live abroad. So yeah, I guess it's just it makes me a little bit sad, disappointed. I had to sit down and drink a beer from Medellin, Tres Tortilleras, Rosada. So this is kind of like a beer that kind of tastes like champagne, tipo rosé. It's really good kind of craft beer here in Colombia. So I don't know what to say, really. I don't know how things will work out. I know a lot of people are on edge. I've been talking to my girlfriend all day and watching videos and kind of keeping up to date on these current changes, on these current situations happening. And it's pretty disappointing, but I think the more I travel and the more I spend time abroad, the more I feel like people are more united and have more in common than we don't, and that unity of knowing that most people are good. There are the bad apples everywhere, and that's something that, being a realistic person and just having a realistic point of view on things is important. So yeah, I'm just hoping that in the future we have some easy ways to solve our differences and de-escalate, right? Because I know the Colombian people don't want to be involved and be in the middle of the drama between two different governments, and I definitely don't want to either. So this is something that kind of no one really wants, but some people feel it more than others, and my heart goes out to all the people that are, of course, going through some complications, both in the U.S. and in Colombia and everywhere, due to a bit of, uncertainty in life. So I guess, I don't know, I'll just have to keep it on here in Pereira. Hope that in the next 3 months I can finish what I'm planning to do, which is release a lot of my content, show you guys what Latin America is really like, and just drive back on down to Peru and make my way through the rest of South America, I guess. So yeah. Here's my friend Oscar. Oscar, mi buen amigo en Pereira.
Mucho gusto
He's a nice guy, and he's my neighbor. Sold me this beer, and I'm gonna call it quits right here, right? So, see you guys in the next one. Beautiful little birds.